just the Green Arrow.
How far do you think he goes? Do you think he actually makes it far with his asthma?
I think George is capable of anything he puts his mind to.
I don't know. Maybe someday, he'll be a vigilante.
Okay.
Maybe a samurai. Who knows?
Sounds good.
Oh, hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome back to What's on the Tube. It's been a freaking long time. I haven't done this in like 3 weeks. I wrapped up the Stargirl stuff like a couple of weeks ago. Oh, did you watch Stargirl?
No.
You really should. It's a fucking good show. Really fucking good. It's free on... No, it's not. I don't think it's free anymore on CW. I think you have to go on... No, I think it's still free on CW. Or buy season 1. You work at a store, so you got like that.
Yeah.
It's like $20.
I could maybe get that discount, but only if I pay in cash.
Oh boy. If you were unaware, this is What's in the Tube, where right now we are about to begin an amazing journey. We are about to review each and every season of DC's or the Arrowverse, the Berlantiverse, DC TV, CW's. I don't fucking know anymore.
I think it's CW, but
No. Like they had it was the Arrowverse. Now that Arrow's over, do you really call it the Arrowverse since he's gone?
Yeah, I mean I see it. Yeah.
I think right now they rebranded to the CW verse for some fucking reason. I mean, technically, isn't it part of the larger DC multiverse now after that freaking Flash crossover with the movies?
The Crisis on Infinite Earth? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what to call it. I'm just gonna call it the Arrowverse because that's what I've been used to for the past 5 years. I want to say, Jesus Christ, I'm getting old. But anyway, we are reviewing each and every season of Arrow. We're going to be rewatching it each and every week until we reach the end. We're reviewing all 8 seasons, including a final complete series review, because if you're unaware, COVID-19 happened and all the TV shows have been delayed until January of next year. So for me as a content man, I got nothing to watch. I'm serious. I had Rookie, I had Nancy Drew, I had The Walker, I had Superman and Lois, I had... what else did I review? High School Musical, the series, but not all of them been pushed next year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was Stranger Things season 4. Yeah, season 4.
That was going to come out in December. Then they pushed that. I don't think they haven't gone back to production on it, so that's next year for sure.
Yeah, and the Karate Kid spinoff, that series Cobra Kai. Yeah, I was so excited for season 3. That was supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be. No.
So Netflix bought the rights. They filmed it. It's filmed, but Netflix decided. Okay, so now that it's a Netflix thing, they re-released the first 2 seasons on Netflix, so that's out right now. It's trending right now, and season 3 comes out next year.
Did they really film it?
That's what they said. I heard an interview they thankfully shut down. They finished production before season 3. It ended. I don't know how long it takes because it doesn't have any fucking CG in it, but whatever.
I mean,
whatever.
Good.
Whatever. But that's
so. Next. What you're saying is Netflix is just holding out on me.
Basically,
they're gonna make people wait 2 years for a new season. That's not right.
Well, no, because YouTube, it was a YouTube thing, and then YouTube Premium happened, and then they said fuck because I think it was they were trying to get into scripted programming, and then they said fuck it, comedy's where it's at, but they still had Cobra Kai, was still successful, but
yeah,
they said this is not what we want to do, but the producer was like, no, this is fucking successful hit, we need to keep going. Netflix bought them out because how Netflix is.
Dude, I watched the whole first season of Cobra Kai. On the free trial of YouTube.
Oh my God, you did that. I just watched the 2 free episodes, then I waited till they all were free later on. I didn't mind. It was fun. It was good. Fun fact before we move into Arrow, the one thing I remember about Cobra Kai is Johnny's favorite bologna breakfast.
What?
He fried slices of bologna on on a stovetop, and he just ate it with ketchup. I don't know why. I want to eat that. Is it the most healthiest thing to eat? Not at all.
No.
But I want to eat it badly.
It definitely looks interesting.
Yeah, because who fries a piece of bologna on a stovetop and just eats that for breakfast? At least put some eggs in there. Eggs are inexpensive.
Well, I mean, the idea is to make it look...
Poor?
Yeah, I wasn't going to use that word, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, because, because the thing is we don't know what happened between after Karate Kid 3 and Cobra Kai, so... So you're just dropping everything. You dropped my laptop. You're dropping pillows left and right. What's going on?
Another one right
Let's
there.
go. Anyway, enough badgering around. We're about to start reviewing Arrow, the complete first season. I forgot. I have the DVD over there. I forgot to bring it. But Sal, to start it off not properly, is Arrow season 1 worth the binge? Is it worth binging all 23 episodes in one sitting?
I don't know about one sitting. I will say that
okay, fine. Like one commitment. Like you don't go to any other show. You don't go to any other things. That's the only thing you watch until the end.
Oh yeah, well absolutely. I think because of like the whole Arrow story, like all like the flashbacks that they did in this season. And I haven't watched this show in such a long time, so I don't remember how long the flashbacks go on for. Like how many?
It's seasons? 5 years. It's 5 years. So he was on the island.
No. That I remember. I just don't remember how many. It's
5 seasons. The whole 5. That was the whole range. Like, you get a year of flashbacks every season. So this was year. So we see year 1 of Arrow and then also year 1 of the flashbacks. Which is kind of weird because, like, the flashbacks, like, they were trying to, like, emulate, like, oh, it's a full year. But did this, this is my one critique about it. Did the Fires conflict really take a whole fucking year to figure out? Like, they took a whole year being on the island to, like, oh, let's take care of Fire. That could have easily been, like, a month, done. Like, that's in my opinion. I'm not sure. I know they needed to train Oliver. They needed to, like, introduce these other characters. I get that. But, honestly, a whole year, at least for me, that's, like... I don't know what they were thinking.
It really was, in terms of this first season, in terms of the flashbacks, watching him really grow on that island, and, like, they made him look pathetic, like, pathetically weak at first, because he's supposed to be a spoiled rich kid, and then to go from, like, alright, well, now he's using his head, now he can fight. It was pretty good character development.
That it was, but... I don't know what I'm saying, but like it's weird. Like you look at Oliver Queen, like because obviously they filmed the flashbacks with the present day stuff, so you see like he's still got the body, but it's like he had no fucking strength in that body when we began the flashbacks. Which I'm curious because like so, did all the girls that flanter over him when he was still like the playboy, like did they just flanter over him because of his looks? Because like I don't know, like nowadays I just assimilate like oh you got to have like real muscles to like actually like win people over. Yeah. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I mean, I think it was looks, money, and his attitude. Some people took his attitude to be jerkish, but some people really liked, like the cocky, like, outrageous type of people. So I think that's what Oliver was before he left for the island.
Yeah, because the flashbacks took place pre-2007, so that sounds about right. I mean, we were kids back then, so we don't even know what, like, what females our age in that time period was interested in. Who knows? It could have been it. So in your opinion, well, for me, I do think it's worth the binge. For What's on the Tube, we're doing Arrow, all seasons in review, and then Doctor Who, the first 5 series reviewed. But I was like more inclined to do Arrow because that was, I don't know why, like it was so, I haven't seen season 1 because like obviously season 8 just wrapped last year. So, but we have The Flash, we have Legend, we have Batwoman, we have Supergirl. They're all entrenched, and the Crisis stuff was in last season of Arrow. So we kind of got a little bit. Well, obviously, we're going to review all of them. So it was such a weird thing to like kind of reduce all that, like reduce the larger Arrowverse and kind of go back to like basic season 1. So, like this was the one that kicked off the whole universe, and. It was weird in a good way, like, because the thing I love about season 1 is that it was just so simple. Like, there's no meta-humans, there's no aliens, there's no, like, gods, there's no crisis looming. Like, it's just a man on a mission to redeem his city, and he realizes there's a much more bigger conspiracy on that. And I don't know why, like, it was so easy to wrap my head around. And I feel like this was like I haven't started season 2 yet in my rewatch because we're reviewing this as we go. So we're not watching season 2 stuff until we're done with this review. So I don't remember what the fuck happened in season 2. But the way season 1 was written is, I think, at least for now, like because I'm not doing future spoilers or anything, but this is probably the most well written season because like every episode mattered. Every episode, like even the filler episodes. A couple in the end kind of like, okay, they're just really stretching out that 23 episode order. But honestly, each episode mattered. Every episode like was worth it in the season 1 story. At least for me, at least.
Yeah, it always kind of amazed me how like he came around to be like a hero. So at first he was just crossing names off of
a list.
His list. And then I don't know, he just kind of like, started... Instead of trying to get revenge for what he thought was his father, he kind of went and said, okay, my city actually needs help.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts...
be on the list. Because there's more problem besides the people on that list. And honestly, okay, let me be honest with you for a second. Had the Arrowverse not happened, had it just been just Arrow, like Smallville was Smallville for like 10 years, if Arrow had just done its own thing, no Flash, no Supergirl, would you have been perfectly fine if the whole show was like just him crossing off the list for like 7 more seasons? Would you have been interested? Would you have kept going?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So I like how they were quickly able to establish that that's not what's going to go on. Because the first season of any show is kind of establishing characters and establishing the arc. So I thought for them to quickly be, so you had, the first couple episodes he was crossing guys off his list. I remember at one point, I think he crossed off like 3 people in one night or something like that. Because it was such a long list.
Because
this is one of the early episodes.
That could have easily, the list thing could have easily been, like its own, like, it could have been the whole series. But I felt like, I would have lost the magic. And but the thing I always attributed to the list is that, again, no future spoilers, but, like, correct me if I'm wrong, did they ever bring it up again? Like, I know we're about to start season 2 after, like, we wrapped after today, but do they bring back the list?
I'm not entirely sure, but I haven't seen any of the other seasons in so long.
Yeah, but we're about to. We're about to rewatch them soon. But I just don't remember. Like, I know like it's like the MacGuffin of season 1. Like that's the whole like reason like Oliver goes back to Starling. So that's what we were like. In the comic it's Star City, and then here they call it Starling City. That's kind of, like, for me, that was kind of annoying, and thankfully, the only thing I remember is that they rectified that in season 4. The one good thing to come out of that season.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird. Like, why would you change the name? Starling City.
I like Starling City, but,
I don't know. I didn't like the name. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure, like actual Green Arrow fans were kind of... I think they were... I wasn't there, like... Oh, before we get any further, like, what was your earliest memory in season 1? Like, when did you first start watching the show? Like your original watch, not the current rewatch.
What do you mean? When did I start watching?
Yeah, when did you what was the thing to I'm gonna watch Arrow, and also when did you first time you watched Arrow? Was it at the start, like when it was all beginning, or was it like a little bit later on?
Definitely the flashbacks, but also his relationship with John Diggle. Because I always thought it was funny, how he was ditching his bodyguards. It seemed like while everybody else was just quitting, and Diggle eventually ended up quitting too, but...
He came back.
He kind of doesn't go away entirely, but, he kind of shows Oliver you have to take me a little more seriously than you might your other bodyguards.
And then he stays around.
Yeah, and then I thought, just something about Diggle was... I didn't realize that Lila was in season 1. So to look at that... I
forgot about that. Like, she wasn't... She, was only, 2-3 episodes. I forgot about that.
She was in, one where they were trying to take... they were trying to take down...
Deadshot.
Yeah.
That was kind of, that was kind of her, arc. Her arc. Like, she was just helping Diggle get Deadshot. I'm just surprised. I forgot they put Deadshot and Deathstroke in the same season. I completely forgot about that. Like, I knew Deathstroke was in this season, but I'm like... No, they're not going to introduce Deathstroke, because I know he's the Season 2 villain, so I'm like, they're going to introduce him in Season 2. Like, they're not obviously going to blow their load in Season 1, like, oh, fuck, they did, I forgot. Monty Bennett, such a great choice for Deathstroke. Underrated. He doesn't get that much love. He hasn't, I don't think he's gotten another gig since Arrow wrapped up, so. Hey, CW, you got that new Walker show happening? Hi, Monty Bennett, he's pretty good. What was I going to say? So what I was trying to say before, I think you misinterpreted my question. How did you start watching Arrow for you?
I don't know, because I think, honestly, I started watching The Flash first, because that was always,
that was more popular.
Yeah, that was just more popular. And then when Oliver helped him take down the Reverse Flash, I said, this show's also there.
Why not watch it? Because you're wondering, what's up with the suit? What's up with his attitude? You want to know what's going on there. And that's I think the early Arrowverse stuff, when they were just beginning, the crossovers, I feel like that was more organic. Where again, we're really jumping ahead here, but we'll get back to season 1 in a second. But that. Honestly, seeing that was it made sense. That was a great way to really get Flash is more popular than Arrow. It was more popular, even though Arrow was the first show.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and it worked. Because, like, you were not into Arrow. You watched Flash. You saw Arrow. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to see what he's doing. And then, boom, you became a fan of Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a plausible strategy. Now it's like, you got, like, Flash, Supergirl, Legend. I keep mentioning their day, Superman, Lois, Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow. Like, you got all them going, but they don't really do that. Like, they don't do that anymore. Like, they don't really, like, do, like, the organic crossovers anymore. It's, like, only the big events. Maybe a small cameo then and there, like Diggle and the Flash, but that's really it. You don't really get that, like, organic, feel anymore. Which I don't mind, but I don't know, like, we'll get there when we get to season 3 of Arrow, but that was kind of like, I kind of missed those days in a way, a little bit. Like, of course, obviously, you wouldn't have Elseworlds or Crisis, but I don't know, I like that so much. I don't know. Maybe that's just a me thing, I don't know. Yeah. But, so for me, I started watching Arrow 2016, like so many other shows. I started watching Arrow, and I watched it with a friend. You know her, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name anymore on camera, so I'm just going to omit that. But so she came over, and this was like around the time where I started watching Daredevil, and I was starting to get into like the Netflix catalog of shows they had. And Arrow was on there, and I was always interested for a while to get into Arrow. This was the summer before season 4 started. So I was like with her, like, do you want to watch this? And she's like, sure. And we binged the whole first season when she was sleeping over that weekend. And it was all, we were supposed to watch season 2 together, but we didn't. But then, that's how I got on the show, and then I started in season 4 was my first season watching live as a fan. And hopefully it changes when we get to that season 4 rewatch, but damn, season 4 was not a good first season to be your first live fan. Not a good season to keep me going. And well, I sticked around because you know how my levels of tolerance is. I tend to stick around no matter what happens on a TV show. Mm-hmm. But so for you, like, okay, so now let's kind of take a step back a little bit. Let's get back to the show itself because we keep talking. We're in tangents over here. Let's kind of rail back the thing. So for you, okay, binging aside, do you think Arrow season 1 is just an overall good season?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I definitely think that it establishes all the characters very well. You get to know them. Like, it was just cool for me having seen all 8 seasons, then going back and seeing Oliver meet Felicity and meet John Diggle. And, like, I'd always remembered him, like, running away, kind of ditching Diggle. But I never remembered how awkward Felicity was at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, because, like, she was just an IT girl who was just, she's just there. And then they slowly started, like, getting her into the plot. I think she became a fan favorite. That's my opinion. I think people just loved her. For me, I never saw it. I mean, I'm kind of in the, like, later on we'll get to the whole Felicity hate we get later on in the series. Mm-hmm. Do you ever understand that? Like, I watched season 1. It's like, she's fine. Of course she's recurring, so like she's not a bad character. I don't love her. I don't hate her. So I just don't get what was all the hate about for at least for her. Like I just don't see it. I don't see why she had to stick around. Like, obviously people wanted Oliver and Laurel to be together at the end, but obviously things didn't happen. It's sort of how things planned. But like, do you understand the hate? I don't get it. Like.
No, I thought she was a terrific character, and I from watching this first season, I really forgot how great she is with like computers and like hacking, like kind of like Cisco Ramon over on the Flash, only a lot better in a way. I mean, I'm
more of a Cisco person than a Felicity person because Cisco's got all of them references, all of them T-shirts. I'm like that's more of my guy right there. Felicity's fine. I'm not saying that.
No, but I'm saying as like a hacker. I feel like Felicity, at least in this first season, like a lot of the times when I'm watching Cisco, he's like, I can't get into this thing, and then like he ends up like finding another way. Where Felicity just seems to find her way into.
I think it was just the way the shows are written. I think the Flash has more of the superhero stuff to do, and Arrow's more vigilante. That's my opinion. I'm not sure. We haven't done Flash yet, so maybe one day down the line. So last thing, because we're about to go into spoiler-filled section, is there anything you want to say about Arrow in like? Well, I mean, I know we kind of touch on mild spoilers, but like, what is your do you have anything left to say before we get to like the full spoiler territory?
Quentin Lance is a good father, and he's a bad father.
He's kind of like that weird,
he's a bad father for. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, he's a bad father for trying to use Laurel as bait to catch the Green Arrow.
Well, it was just the vigilante, the Hood.
The vigilante, yeah.
The Hood, yeah. They didn't give him any names yet.
That's true.
Not yet.
Yeah. So.
Funny thing. Well, my last spoiler reference in the spoiler free zone is that they briefly name drop. Oh, Green Arrow seems like a plausible name for the vigilante. It's like Oliver's like, no, that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'll change it in like 3 years.
Yeah. But yeah, and then he also is a good father because he's not wrong for wanting to keep Laurel away from like danger, and like it seems like Laurel really doesn't listen to him.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Laurel kind of says like you're making all these decisions based off the sister.
What she did.
What she did. Meanwhile, Laurel is kind of throwing herself in danger because she's kind of, and I admire her going above like the DA the DA job like duties. She definitely does. At the same time, she throws herself in danger a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure her father just wants her to be safe, especially being a cop out there. He sees everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Especially
she's throwing herself in these cases that involving these like very dangerous people that could multiple times could have easily ended her, but thankfully there was a vigilante out there to save her at the day. So at least for me, I give this series 2 thumbs up. For me, it's definitely worth the binge. Can you say the same thing, or you had like?
I definitely could. I just couldn't. I could not watch any other shows, so that's what I kind of did. Mm-hmm. But in terms of watching so many episodes at once, I could only watch
I watched 5 in a row. That's it.
I watched 4 max, and then usually
come back
like
another
2
day.
or 3. Yeah.
Come back another day. Yeah, no, that seems.
They are long episodes. I always forget. I get half an hour into the episodes, and I'm like, this isn't even close to over.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. But anyway, let's move into spoiler-filled section. So this is it. Arrow season 1 on Netflix right now for as long before HBO Max takes them over. All right, ready? Go watch it now. You got 23 hours. Come back when you're done with season 1. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So what is the moment that what was in season 1? What was the biggest twist for you? That you can remember?
Definitely that. I was telling you this before. Him attacking his mother.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that scene. They actually they
actually shot at his mother.
They traumatized her. I felt sorry for the mom. The mom is not that innocent. Let's be honest, she's not that. She was innocent before the show started, and then she, after she lost her husband, she immediately hooked up with her the best friend of Robert, Walter. Yeah, I forgot. They hooked up. They got. I'm never. Okay, I say hook up loosely. We don't know what happened. They kind of skimmed that over. That's a few lines of dialogue. It's oh, he took her out, and then boom, they fell in love.
Yeah, she kind of. I think at one point she said he was just there for me or something like that.
Yeah, and then she felt something for him. Which for me, I don't know. That's kind of weird for me because I know you never know who you're gonna end up liking in the future. But I don't know. That's kind of weird for me because he's always been there, just as a business associate. But do you think she ever had feelings for him in a physical nature? Because there had to be something there even before.
I think she liked him, but I mean that.
And she was married, so. Yeah,
she was married, so she kind of kept. And I wouldn't really say she had feelings for him, but just the fact that he was there. She always liked him as a person. So when her husband died and Walter was there for her, those feelings personified into actual romantic feelings, and that's kind of how I think it came about.
I guess, but I don't know. I'm not, that's why I feel a little indifference towards that. For me, it was the Dark Archer moment because I completely forgot John Barrowman was in this show. I completely forgot because he was in the earlier season, then they kind of wrote him off after his. Mm-hmm. I forgot what happened to him, but I think he just got written off. Ironically, he's in the Doctor Who stuff I'm about to do with George. So that was an unintentional coincidence that I was watching Doctor Who a couple nights ago. I was like, why the hell is the Dark Archer on this show? I was like, oh, he's on this show too. So it's that was so John Barrowman, the link between these two review series. I forgot he was in the show, and I forgot he was the Dark Archer. Mm-hmm. I completely forgot. I forgot he was a supervillain. But honestly, beyond that reveal, he was kind of. I don't know. What did you rate the Dark Archer? Let's rate the bad guy. What did you think of Dark Archer? Malcolm Merlyn.
I definitely thought that he. I don't know. I really liked his character. I like how they really had him. I like how they had him almost kill Oliver.
Oh yeah, episode back in the mid-season finale. Yeah.
And I liked how when that fight was going on, when he was beating the shit out of Oliver, how like you heard like a crack.
Yeah, I heard yeah, he was like, "Fuck, he's
bones,
strong."
Yeah,
he was strong. It's ironic. It kind of is a parallel because the first episode where like Oliver's kicking everyone's asses. Episode 9, he gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, because he finally met someone that's kind of his match. Whereas he'd been basically going after bitch guys that had just been taking advantage of people. So in reality, physically, they're like harmless people that, don't stand a chance against Oliver, a guy with that kind of training and that kind of physique.
Then we get to Malcolm.
Yep.
And he's like,
and he doesn't know, really.
Yeah, we didn't know about him till like, well, they didn't know about him till like, I think just a couple episodes before the finale, I believe. I don't remember, but no, I think he was an okay villain. I don't know why, like, cause like I like John Barrowman as an actor, but I just don't know. Like I like him more as Malcolm than as villain Malcolm. I don't know. That seems kind of like, for me, that kind of sounds weird to say, but I don't know. Like, I think he's a good villain, but I don't think he was like the best villain.
No, I think he was a good starter villain. Like having like another Archer, like, so Oliver, can he deal with what he's been dishing out to people?
Yeah.
And I also like the relationship between Malcolm and Tommy.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about Tommy yet. Yeah, Tommy was. They didn't treat him this kindly this season. They didn't.
No, I mean,
they did not.
He definitely got a foot in his ass, like having himself get cut off by his father.
Yeah, I forgot about that moment. I forgot because like, what was the reason again? Like, was it just time for him to fly the nest alone or something like that? I forgot what the reasoning was.
I think it was just that, his father, something about independence, and his father wanted him to like get a job and like work hard.
Yeah, not just right on his
Tommy at that point had never really worked.
He just had money.
Yeah,
he just had money, got all the girls he wanted, and but also speaking of Tommy, like. Tommy has an endurance, has a tolerance level, but nothing is kind to him this season. Because, sure, like, it started out fine, like, his life was decent, like, he had his best friend back, he was kind of in a relationship with Laurel, like, on and off. And then, like, as the series progressed, like, oh, he got Laurel, he's gaining his independence, then the shit hits the fan for him. Like, he finds out Oliver is the Archer, he kind of loosely figures out, yeah, Laurel still has feelings for Oliver, which... I felt sorry for him, to be honest with you. Like, when the woman you love is interested in someone else while you're with them. That's kind of like the worst feeling to have in the world.
Yeah, but the flip side for that was that he knew that she loved Oliver first. Because obviously before Oliver went to the island, they'd been dating. So, like, I'm sure he wasn't entirely shocked to know, but it still hurts.
Oh yeah, because you assume like that once you're in a relationship with someone, like okay, those feelings have to go away, but they never did.
No, they could always once Oliver got past her like, you killed my sister type of thing.
They kind of like it was kind of weird. Like they kind of like seem back to like we're good again. I don't know. That seems like a really tall thing. Like, I know it's a TV show that they have to kind of like gloss that over, but. I mean, if you really think about it, had Oliver been loyal, then Sarah wouldn't have... no future spoilers here, but, like, Sarah would have not have had that, experience, so... I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. But I never really...
Well...
I just felt sorry for Tommy.
The interesting thing about it was that Laurel, like, I feel like she was like, okay, we're good... But then all of a sudden, she would, like, turn sour on him again. Yeah. And then say, oh, yeah, we're good. And it was just kind of... And then one of those shocking things about Season 1 was... Or I guess not shocking, but that he... I think Oliver's at Laurel's house, and Oliver himself, not the Green Arrow, saves Laurel.
I think that was... Somewhere in the beginning. I think this is when,
that was at the very beginning.
Yeah, when they were, like, he was... I think it was just after he said, get away from me, and then he said, like... Oh, I want to let you in again. Like, kind of that weird flip-flop, kind of like just to establish, like, I don't know what he was trying to... I think he was just trying to make amends, but...
Yeah.
I mean, you got a point. You got a point there. It says I still felt sorry for Tommy, and then especially the scene that like I cannot listen to Radioactive anymore without thinking of that sex scene. Mm-hmm. When Oliver and Laura like finally like admit they like each other again, and then Tommy's
right there.
I mean, here's another thing you gotta know. You should keep your curtains closed because like anyone could have walked down that street and just seen like, oh, they're about to bone.
Imagine if Quentin Lance.
Oh my god, that would have. Oh my god, he would have barged in there. I mean,
might have shot Oliver.
I don't know how like we're gonna. I'm gonna go on a tangent quickly. Like I don't know how fathers can deal with that. Like how do fathers deal with like you know their daughters with a man, or just I don't know just in general with a man. I don't know how. Like we're not fathers yet. We're not like parents. But like, how would they like react? Like, I mean, I know it's a natural process. I mean, but still, like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, how does that? Especially if you're dealing with Quentin Lance, it's like, oh, he would have definitely like barged in there and like probably.
Well, that Quentin Lance is an interesting case, but in terms of fathers in general, I think it's like some of the things in life you just kind of have to deal with, and whether or not you like your daughter like. With a guy, you kind of have to deal with it because, like you said, it's a natural thing.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. Anyway, you can't avoid it forever. I mean, you can only keep them guarded away for so long before some man or somebody takes an interest in them to like take it to that level. So it's not far away, but but that was kind of like that was a funny thing I was thinking about with that Quentin Lance joke. What happened? Oh, we haven't talked about Thea yet.
Yeah.
Kind of weird how like they let a 17-year-old drink, do drugs, potentially be in a relationship with a guy who's probably like at least past 18, 19 by this point, maybe even 20. I'm not sure. Like it's kind of weird how much like liberties they give Thea throughout the first season.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they're trying to establish Thea as like a younger sister that Oliver needs to protect, but at the same time, like Oliver ends up like shutting her out outside of telling her you can't do this, you can't do that, which only further hurts their relationship because if all he's doing is being cold after he came back from the island and she thought he was dead, and then the only time he'll speak to her is to reprimand her.
Yeah, and eventually like, oh, you're back, to like, oh, I hate you.
Yeah, that's pretty much I think that what they were getting at there. And then the best thing about Theo was the constant like antagonizing her mother.
Like she could do whatever she wants and she's not gonna do shit.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes was I think after Walter went missing. How like Moira was lying in her bed all morning, and then Thea was like egging her on to get up.
Yeah. And then I think she did. Was it because she did because like of the job she had to take over CEO, or just like in general, like just get up and do something?
I think it was just get up and do something. And I think it was the CEO thing too. But I remember Thea said something like, "You're supposed to be my mother. You're not the other way around," which I thought was I thought that was one of the best lines of the entire season.
Oh no, yeah, same. But yeah, but they don't really. Yeah, but besides that, like Thea gets her moments, but she doesn't really get like. Obviously, with this being like Oliver's journey, you don't really get to give that many of the other characters their time to shine. Like Felicity she was there, but she was mostly like the helpful tool. Thea was like once Roy came into the picture, it was like okay, that's when her like role started to like increase a little because she had someone to like, help and take care of and grow to an ex. Obviously, we know where Roy's gonna end up in a couple down the line, but no future spoilers, but. I don't know, like for Thea, like obviously, like I said, they're setting the foundation for her, but I get like establishing her as like like a girl who's just like able to do whatever she wants is fine because considering the fact that all her dad and her brother were gone for like 5 years. I mean, we don't know that specifically because our family's still alive, so we don't know what that entitles, so we don't have a personal understanding of it, but we still. I don't know, like, the way they kind of, like, harping on that for the beginning was kind of, like, it dragged a bit. But thankfully, once Roy was introduced, it definitely turned, like, no, she has more to do. So.
Yeah, I definitely think she gets most spoilers. I think most of the characters get more to do later. But this first season was really about Oliver, especially with, like, the flashbacks and, like, in terms of him developing into the Green Arrow, not only when he came back, but his early development on that island.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think this was to establish him.
Yeah.
And then all the other characters were just kind of like introduced.
For later on.
Yeah.
Once we got you're right on that, because I think for you the moment we got to see the first glimpse of present day Oliver and flashback Oliver was when he finally shot the arrow to kill Fires. I think that like once that arrow landed on it, that was like that's it. That was the full end of Playboy Oliver, and we were getting towards the eventual Oliver we were going to see on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't talked much about the flashbacks at all, and we kind of glossed that over. Were you surprised they put Slade Wilson in? Like, obviously knowing him as a Batman villain, like, were you surprised they put him in that early in the season?
I mean, I remember him being part of the Arrow. I just don't remember him kind of being a good guy. So to kind of see that again, it's kind of really weird.
Because we know where he's going to end up.
Yeah, because we know where he'll end up, and also, like, I don't know, I feel like him, I really like him as, like, a good guy character, kind of like like, he's good, he'll help Oliver, but he still says, like, he still says, like, I think he says at one point, it's every man for himself, or something like that.
I think that was when it was either before or after they failed in the plane mission, I think.
Yeah.
I forgot when it was.
I think, he said, I'll leave without you.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, is understandable.
Because that's when Oliver's trying to, like, develop, like, a sense of, like, oh, I have to go back to Yao Fei. You know, he saved my life in the beginning, and, like, I owe this to him. And that was, like, when we were starting to see him, like, starting to, like, not think of himself and starting to think about other people. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of, like, the parallel. But the one thing I don't understand about Oliver is that I understand, but it's, like, so weird how the chain of events work, is that when we got the flashback to the flashbacks, when we see like the day Oliver and his dad were to leave on the Gambit, and then he gets the picture from like a fresh picture of Laurel, like the picture we see for like throughout the flashbacks. When we see that, like it's kind of weird for me because like just a moment, like a few days ago, you were just banging her sister, and now all of a sudden you have these remorse feelings for her. Like I don't know, that's kind of weird for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think the funny thing about when Oliver was going to leave for the boat was the fact that they're about to leave and then Laurel pulls up like to give him the picture and he's like oh like because he kind of seemed like he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And that he really didn't want it. Like I'm sure he did, but he didn't at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's just an example of like you shouldn't take for granted what you have. Because, Laura was, like, that one constant, like, of course, we've heard stories, like, he sucked around a lot while he was with Laurel, and he wasn't really honest and loyal to her. But then I think in his mind, like, oh, no matter what happens, I always have Laurel to go to, even though she doesn't know half the stuff he did. But then when we got to see him on the island, and then seeing him kind of like, fuck, I could die on this island, and I will never get to see her again.
Yeah.
I think that's when he started to realize and says, oh, fuck, I fucked up badly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember, like, was the reason why he went on the boat just to be with Sarah, or was it, like, I forgot what the reasoning was. I think, was it just to be with Sarah for an extended period of time?
Yes, because I remember he had, the father was going to go out on the boat, and then Oliver asked to go with him. Yeah,
that was the undertaking related, but I guess Oliver... Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It was just like how circumstantial things were, and obviously, if I'm remembering correctly, again, no future spoiler. There was some retconning later on. I think with the Gambit, I'm not sure. I remember something, but we'll get there in like a few weeks. But so the undertaking, like the actual grand finale plan, like the big like plan to destroy the Glades. I don't know why. Like I kind of felt. Like, as soon as I remember, like, what the fuck was the undertaking again? And I was like, oh, it's just earthquake machines. I'm like, oh yeah, this makes sense. This makes on a TV show budget because you can't have like a big final battle like in the movie. So
that gave me one of my favorite. That was the beginning of one of my favorite team ups in the Arrowverse or whatever you want to call it, which was Quentin Lance calling the Green Arrow or the Hood. for help. So then, of course, he had questioned Felicity, and of course he was right about Oliver being the Hood. And,
but he couldn't confirm it at the time.
So he couldn't confirm it. And, he works with Felicity, he shuts down the machine. So, like, Oliver says before he goes and does that, I need someone I can trust, which turns out to be Quentin Lance. So it shows the respect he has for
him,
Lance,
even though they weren't like on the best footing. Yeah. No, you're right on that. I think that was a moment where it's like, I don't remember where season 2 goes with that direction, but it was definite right step like for them to like. It's kind of like the Batman Gordon thing. Like Gordon didn't like Batman at first, and then eventually he's like, okay, this guy, I may not agree with his methods, but he is like protecting the people, so I'll give him that. I'll give him that over that. So, but that final fight scene between Oliver and I forgot the Dark Archer Malcolm. Jesus Christ, was that just that showcased that? Well, I don't know. Like Oliver did train for that fight. Like he did like intensify his training. So getting to see them really on even turn. But the thing that really got me, and I completely forgot about this. Until I got to the rewatch, was that he actually grabbed an arrow and stabbed it through his own chest to get to Malcolm. I completely forgot about that.
I completely forgot. That was nasty.
Like, how? Like, isn't the heart in this direction?
I noticed that too. He stabbed it right through where his heart should be.
Yeah, so it's like, did he like meticulously like 1 inch above? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to like, I was thinking about while I was watching, like, there is no fucking way that this man just grabbed an arrow off the ground and meticulously planned the direction where he was going to shoot it from. And not only that, was that Malcolm was on top of him, so you have to factor in like the angle, and he did that all on the fly. So it's like, no, there had to be some sort of like bullshit thing here, because like there was absolutely no way he was going to like get enough force to put an arrow between one rib cage but to another rib cage. And then not hit your own heart, but hit his heart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. Like that's still like, what the fuck.
Yeah,
it was a cool moment, but
it was cool. But I thought for the way it looked, it could have been a better finish. I mean, I liked like Oliver winning. Oliver obviously won, but like
Oliver won the battle, but Malcolm won the war.
Yeah,
because he planned like. Oh, there wasn't one machine. There was 2 machines, and they fucking forgot about the second machine. And then they
didn't know about it.
Well, yeah, I know that, but it's like fuck. That was kind of a clever twist, because like usually like all the big bad, like here's the one big machine that's gonna like put my plan into motion, and the hero shut it down. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I mean, at least in season 1 of these shows, like the hero usually comes out on top, and Oliver did it in a way, but the blades were still like leveled.
Yeah, I think half of it. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. I think it was half the glades got destroyed. I know they got destroyed, but I forgot like what percentage of it. I think it was just the other half, because when I was like getting up to the season 1 ending, I thought the way season 1 ended was Oliver is grabbed by Diggle, he's bleeding, and then he looks at the glades and realizes he failed, and that's where the season. That's what I thought. That's how I remember, because I don't know why. Like I just ended like. I always said we lost, and then they just end season 1. But like no, there's a little bit more, because I forgot again. We forgot about Tommy, because again Tommy going through so much bullshit. His girlfriend slept with his best friend again. His father's a villain, and he's losing everything. But like his last moment of redemption, his last moment of heroism is he got to save Laurel. From the burning building, and then sacrificing his own life. And it's like that was clever how like Oliver shows up, and it's like the typical like rubble. It's like, oh, he's probably fine. Just remove all the rubble. I'll get him out. We still got another season, but he's like, nope.
Yep.
No freaking. He got like impaled like Rick on The Walking Dead.
That looked nasty. I was gonna say
like that. Like that metal. Like I don't know what it's called in construction terms. Like that metal, like to connect the stones and everything.
It was so sad that like quick glance and Oliver realized there's really nothing he can do.
He can't now. Even if he pulls him out, the blood's gonna drip all over the place. He's gonna bleed out. He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I don't know. I don't remember if Tommy was ever planned to be like. Well, I don't know if it was like an actor thing or like it was just planned for him to die. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I think like I don't know why in every superhero show someone has to die every season. So I guess Tommy had to fill that quota.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because I really like Tommy. I would have loved to see Tommy like develop more. Mm-hmm. And again, no future spoilers, but we will see Tommy again. But
yeah,
I don't know why. Like I think Tommy was like just the most underused character this year, or he was just the butt of every show. I like them. Colin. I forgot the last name of the actor. Like he did a good job playing him.
Well, I think at the end of the day, all they would have had for Tommy was to continue feuding with Oliver and like
keep that going. Maybe like another season. Going,
but like how long were they going to keep that going? I have no idea. Probably. I mean, not it probably couldn't last that long because they kind of had their big fight already.
Yeah, they already used that up. So to have another big fight down the line. I mean, no offense, no future spoilers again, but Arrow will have a history of repeating certain stuff on the show. But yeah, that would have gotten sick over like, oh, I support you, but I hate you. I support you, I hate you.
Yeah,
that would have gotten really boring after a while. But is there? I'm trying to remember. I mean, I got a couple of quick tidbits, but how do you think it's degrading if I mentioned like, oh, what's the most beautifulest guest star of the whole season, or should I just admit that? Is that too degrading? Okay, how about that? Let's be fair. Let's talk about Stephen Amell's abs, and then we can talk about that. Mm-hmm. Can we talk about how much of a goal Stephen Amell's body is? Like, well, I want that.
He was on American Ninja Warrior.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was.
And he was also on WWE.
He was a guest. He was a guest contender. I forgot.
Yeah.
But his body, man, like fuck.
Dude, and he was like a natural athlete in the wrestling ring. Like it looked really like he looked
authentic.
Like he'd been doing it for you. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, man. But no, like I think the first time we got to see like his body, like fuck, he must have worked out a lot for that fucking role. Now, like that's not the body I would have wanted. That's still a little too bulkier for me. But it's like, seeing the definition, seeing like the strength, the muscle toning on that, it's like...
Well, the one thing that always impresses me, and this is a spoiler, but, not really, like the ladder thing, what do you call it?
The salmon ladder.
Yeah, that thing.
Do you want to do that?
Oh my god, that's tough.
I want to do that. Really I want to do that. Like, I was gonna like think about like would you like you want to make an agreement like when we get to the complete series review, let's like go to a gym and find a salmon ladder and try to do it.
I can barely do pull-ups. So
I just started doing pull-ups. I can maybe do 3 in a row, but you're talking about like lifting my whole body, jumping in the air and grabbing the next. I'm probably gonna bust my ass a couple times.
Like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, but oh my god, the salmon ladder scene was like. Oh my god, we haven't even talked about like he actually built like a gym inside of his like fucking base. I want that gym. Like put in some dumbbells, put in like a personal trainer there. I'm like, fuck, I can live there. I can quarantine there for like another 6 months.
The one thing I have to have in my future house is a gym because my uncle has like all those like the weights. He has like a lat pull down machine, a treadmill. So that's kind of something that I want
for your future house.
Yeah, because I have a couple of things like weight equipment.
But you want something more. You want something.
Yeah, I want.
I mean, I seen your basement. You can check it out on YouTube.com/ActionX. We did a whole video about that. But your basement, your place is pretty like. You could put a workout area in there.
No, because I live in the basement now.
Oh yeah, so. I forgot. I mean, do you still share it, or is it like all you?
No, I still share it.
Damn. I was gonna say like knock off that other bed, like make him sleep on the floor, but put like a whole workout nook in there. You would have been set. Spend like $3,000 in there. I mean,
I wouldn't mind it if when I get older and I get a better
place to.
Yeah.
That's like goals there. My last random tidbit is that I forgot. Like I don't know if you know the actress's name. She was in the season. Genevieve Gangvark. She played the police officer Oliver briefly dated in the middle of the season.
Oh, McKenna Hall.
Yeah, my God, so beautiful. She was so beautiful.
That was definitely interesting for Oliver, especially the love interest that Oliver goes through this season between Laurel,
then McKenna Hall, and then
he had the other girl.
Huntress.
Yeah,
that was like a brief thing. Like I don't know. I knew for a moment like that wasn't gonna last. Like tortured souls with enriched families. It wasn't gonna last. I know that. I knew that for a fact. But
I think she was just there to show people the path Oliver could have taken, the dark path.
But thankfully he didn't. He veered away from it.
So like that's dark Oliver, and Oliver
is now light Oliver.
Yeah.
Well, getting to light Oliver. I mean, I think. Yeah, you're right on that. I knew the Huntress thing wasn't going to last. I knew that. I mean, it was kind of, it would have been interesting, but I guess that's what people wanted from, the Green Arrow, Black Canary dynamic we'll see down the line. But for me, like, the Huntress thing, like, I knew it wasn't going to last. I knew it. Same with the McKenna Hall thing. I would have loved if McKenna Hall, like, was, like... But it would have gotten old eventually, because, like, how do you, like, date a police officer while being a vigilante? Like, eventually she would have found that, like, yeah, Oliver's the vigilante.
Especially when Lance put her on the task force to catch the vigilante.
Yeah, eventually she would have had, like, let's say they had a whole season of dating. We would have seen at some point, like, Oliver reveals to her, I'm the Arrow.
I think was this Laurel, or I'm not entirely sure. I think he's told to, like, either tell her the truth or let her go. Type of thing.
I think it was the start of the season. Yeah. Like, you can't really keep her around if you're always going to be like trying to be around there to defend her. I think it was Diggle told that to Oliver. I think that's reminding me of that.
Yeah, the biggest thing for Diggle was telling Oliver you have to be honest with your family, and after 5 years away from them, you can't just completely shut them out.
Yeah.
So like I think Diggle was definitely Oliver's moral compass.
Yeah.
And I think he'll continue to do that.
Yeah, hopefully he will. Hopefully down the line. Last thing about Diggle, I remember I was talking about like attractive females. Well, for me, that I think that's attractive. I'm not trying to degrade them, just saying in general. This is a compliment. I forgot Diggle's. Diggle had like I don't know like what's gonna happen. I completely forgot like Diggle's thing with his ex sister-in-law.
Oh yeah, Carly. Yeah,
I forgot. I mean, she's cute. I mean, she's beautiful. I mean, I think they would have worked out fine together. But I forgot. Did they break up this season? Are they still together? I forgot. Or did they just kind of gloss that over?
I think... Well, here's what happens is they go out on a date.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he mentions the brother, and she kind of freaks out.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to be reminded of her. She wants to move on with Diggle. I mean, it's another kind of relating to the whole Moira and Walter thing. Like, isn't it kind of weird? Because like she's already going. Like, I know that I'm pretty sure like time has passed since Andy's death, but. Well, I just spoiled it. Fuck. Whatever. Forget about what I just did. But I mean, isn't it kind of weird? Because I'm pretty sure they would have already had some romantic feelings for each other, or like they looked at each other and it's like, oh hey, like you also look attractive, but he's also was married to his brother. So
well, he wasn't really. So I think he always had those feelings. But it was really Oliver pushing him that really he wasn't sure because it was like his brother's ex-wife.
Yeah, that's all and especially that they had a kid together. So that's also so how do you skate that line? Because he's Uncle Diggle, and then he's also Stepdad Diggle. Step uncle, dad uncle, like what do you call it?
I guess now
Stepdad uncle. I don't know what you would call it.
I mean, it's definitely pretty weird.
I don't know what you would call it. I'm pretty sure we're skipping a lot of other stuff, but we're just generally like that's all just the show. I mean, again, go watch Arrow season 1. It's fucking worth it. But down like what would you rate this like in terms of like your own you like 5 stars like or 1 out of 10 or my system's like 2 thumbs up.
For season 1,
just season 1.
Just season 1.
We're not talking about future
5 stars.
5 stars.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent season. I thought the balance of flashback to like present time was terrific. I thought the whole flashback story, not only was it flashbacks, but it was a whole story. Like the flashback would go on for minutes. So obviously you saw that whole story play out on top of seeing another story play out within each episode. Yeah. So I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that was awesome. But like the only like my only question, I gotta look this up. How the fuck do they film the flashbacks? Because like, I don't know. Because like, I like for me when I was watching the show, I thought, they filmed all the flashback stuff first, and then they did the present day stuff. Because like sometimes Oliver doesn't have a beard, sometimes he has like a loose beard. Like, how do you transition that well into the flashbacks? Especially since like certain days like they look just the same environment. Because sometimes they cut a story in the middle of the flashback, then you have to come back in a later episode. But then I learned about TV scheduling. Like, no, that's not how it works. So I think that's how my brain works. I'm not sure how. I gotta look that up. Maybe I'll talk about it next time. But yeah, I mean, for me, I wouldn't give this 5 star. The Malcolm stuff still weighs down a little bit. And again, I know, like you said, it's season 1. They're just building the foundation. I get that, but it's 23 episodes. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff in a movie in 2 hours. You can give every character something to do, but if you got 23 hours and you can't still give a little bit of something to everyone, that always like makes me feel like to go down. For me, I would give it, like, if I'm using your system, 5.5 star. I would give it 4.5.
I mean, well, my thing was the only character that really didn't get an arc for me, or not an arc, but like something to do, was probably Felicity.
Well,
Felicity didn't really get too much. Like
she was recurring.
Yeah, she was recurring. Like, she was just made to be awkward and like a good hacker, but other than that,
she didn't do much.
She didn't do too much. Diggle at least had the whole chasing his brother's killer.
With that shot, yeah.
Moira was obviously part of
I forget what the group. I'm gonna call them the Elite because I don't think they ever had like an official villainous term name.
Yeah,
I'm just calling them Elite. Also, another fun fact: the businessman, the one from China, he was also in The Dark Knight. He played the guy who was trying to like get the mobsters. Like, oh, give me your money. I will invest your money and I will give you back your money. That's when Joker calls him. Nope, he's a liar. He's gonna fucking squeal when the Batman shows up. So it's kind of ironic. Like, he's in the circle of like 2 vigilantes, like the Batman and Green Arrow. So that was funny.
I think one of the funnier parts of this season was Oliver, after his mother goes to jail, and then Oliver kind of takes over Queen Consolidated, but then Walter comes back. So like the I forget what the girl's name was that was arguing with Oliver, saying like, you can't run this company.
I think that's season 2.
No, that's like the very.
Was it? I don't remember that.
When Walter goes back to the company.
Oof. Oh yeah, he does come back a little earlier, but no, but I don't remember that scene. I think you were talking about season. Did you start watching season 2 without me?
I might have dipped into the first episode.
Alright, well, I think maybe that was season 2. Oh yeah, that's right. That's season 2 opener, I guess. But well, so I just spoiled season 2 for you. Sorry. Nothing I can do. You fucked it up.
Well,
yeah, screwed it up. I think maybe we should end it here before you spoil more season 2 stuff. Because for overall, this has been your Arrow season 1 review. Sal, do you have anything left to say about Arrow season 1 before we wrap it home? After we've recommended to this beautiful audience, yeah, go watch it. Is there anything else?
Hopefully more development for Thea in season 2. I kind of want to see her get more involved in Oliver's life. Because like I said, she kind of gets reprimanded by Oliver the whole first season. So, to kind of, on top of her and Roy, I kind of want to see her get involved in Oliver's life a little more. Other than that, it's going to be interesting to see what's going on between Quentin, Lant, and Oliver, and also Laurel. That whole dynamic, because it seemed to, he seemed to soften up to Oliver a little bit.
So there's more to come, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, we already know what's going to happen. We need a reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, nudge. I can't whistle. I was going to whistle, but I still can't whistle. But that will be next week, Sal. We'll talk. Well, next week for them. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do this again. I mean, we still got. We got 8 more things. We got 8 more of these to do. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the journey. We're just beginning. But again, if you're unaware, this is What's on the Tube, where today we were talking about Arrow, the first season. Remember, it's on Netflix. Go watch it. Go talk about it. Leave us a comment below. What did you think of season 1? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let us know. And believe me, this is a beginning of a long 8-week journey throughout until December. Just give it. Don't worry, Sal. Don't worry, Sal. I mean, for us, it's November, but for them, it's December. Because believe me, we need it. Well, I need to take a vacation. I haven't taken a vacation since the pandemic started. You need a vacation too, man.
Well, one more character that I just wanted to bring up, since we didn't really mention him, but outside of, like, once I think you mentioned him, was Yao Fei.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Yao Fei.
Yeah. Well, just as a quick note, I love the character. In terms of, like, the battle that he's facing, trying to save his
daughter.
That's his daughter, right?
Yeah, Shadow.
So he's got to kind of turn on Oliver, a man that he saved. the man that he really trained.
Well, yeah, because his family's more important than like a fucking rich boy that landed on the fucking island.
Well, he doesn't know that.
Fine, like another man that's not his family. There you go. There's your generic no show references here.
I just meant like the mental, because even though he like knew he had to make those decisions, he was still like, you could tell he still regretted it, like showed remorse for it.
Mm-hmm.
But and then, it was something that had to be done.
And thankfully Oliver did come back. So, but then he. Sorry, Alfie. Hopefully we'll see it down the line. Maybe in flashbacks to the flashbacks. Who fucking know? This show's this is like Inception. Like we got flashbacks in the flashbacks. Hopefully we'll see them down the line. But anyway, again, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what we're doing overall on What's in the Tube, we are also doing Doctor Who every series reviewed. We're doing part 1 on that. We're reviewing the Christopher Eccleston and the David Tennant seasons. But those are bi-weekly as well. We're doing quick impressions of stuff I've been watching since the pandemic. But if you only care about Arrow, we'll be back next week. We'll be reviewing season 2 of Arrow, which I can't wait to watch. People say people say on their list season 2 is still the best season. We'll see about that next week. We'll see about that.
Well, I gave you a little taste of
God damn, I forgot you watched. You son of a bitch. You know how torture has been? Like, season 1 ended so good. I wanted to jump immediately to season 2. I was like...
Well, here's the thing I went from the finale and not realizing that I was in season 2. So I had stopped at that. I stopped at the first episode, and then you were like, "Let's not watch season 2."
Yeah, because I didn't want to juggle into I didn't want to juggle in references to season 2 in the season 1 review because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, Sal, pimp out your stuff. Where can people find you as well as where can people find you on all their podcasts?
So yeah, I do have my podcast, Sports in the Big Apple. It's a sports podcast available on Spotify. Google Podcast.
Oh, he just got on Google. He just got on Google Podcast. I saw your post. Yeah, good job on that.
Yeah. So I also have a very active Instagram. I'm trying to get the Facebook going.
Oh, believe me, his fucking Instagram. I keep seeing your fucking stories, and it's like something you like my post as the sports like.
Yeah, sometimes I don't realize it.
Damn you! It's like
I don't know, because for the most part I'm on that sports.
Oh, you're always posting. Every time I'm on my stories, it's like, oh, sports in the Big Apple, sports in the Big Apple. It's like. Cool. I don't know any of this fucking stuff. Maybe I'll be on your Super Bowl episode. Who knows? Hopefully down the line.
No, for sure. That was definitely one of my favorite episodes. Was the past Super Bowl that I did.
Wait.
No, I just recapped it. So that wasn't like I do like episodes, like 1, 2, 3. But I actually just named it like Super Bowl, whatever this was.
Oh, like one episode. Oh, that's good. That's a good way to do it. I mean, do like some one-offs because I'm pretty sure sports are back, right? Like they're obviously with masks, bandanas, with protection and stuff like that. So at least you have new content to produce. Because I think I made a joke to you. I was texting you this, or I was talking to you. I don't remember how it was a long time ago. They said as soon as you started your sports podcast, the fucking lockdown happened and all sports were canceled.
No, there was definitely plenty still to talk about.
Oh yeah, you saw a shit ton to talk about. I'm just saying, in terms of getting the new stuff to happen.
Yeah, the games, I obviously couldn't watch, but
because there were no games. Yeah, but no, go check out Sports in the Back. Believe me, he does a lot of fucking work on that. More work than I ever do on my podcast. But anyway, Sal, anything else? You finally have your social media handle because when we started the PodX, guys, you had no fucking handles. Now you do. I'm happy for that. Anything else you want to pimp out before we go? Or is that it?
No, that's it. I'm very hungry.
I'm very hungry too. But then you gotta head out soon. So that's why I was kind of All right.
Oh.
Again, if you can follow us on ActionX on Twitter and Twitch, as well as follow me on Twitter at JoePro97. I don't really post there that often anymore. I've been playing more Marvel's Avengers. Fun game. You should get it when you get a PS4. Get a PS4. Get a PS4. Anyway, sorry about that. Again, you can catch us next week on Arrow Season 2. But again, if you're unaware, this was ActionX's What's on the Tube, where we post each and every week. And finally, back to that. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring the bell for notifications when the next review is live, which will be next... I think we're going on Tuesdays. I'm not sure. Because I think we're bottle capping this episode. This is not coming out for a whole month. So I forgot what the final day... I think we're going to do every Tuesday. I'm not sure. Sal can quote me on that when we come back next week.
Yeah.
But until then, again, this has been ActionX. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace out. Joe, you have failed this city.